Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Negotiation Club, the place where we can actually practice our negotiation skills. Now, we've got a negotiation occurring here between Fred, our superstar salesperson, who's actually going to be a buyer, and Channa, who has just been qualifying, or rather completing her studies with the University of Law, and is actually going to be our seller in this particular case. So, as always, I'm going to show the cards. Now, we're not going to use the tactics this time round. We're just going to have a go at negotiating for ourselves within the 4 minutes. You have a budget.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Channa, you can look back now. And Channa, you have a... a break-even point. So you need to negotiate above that, okay? Right, Fred, you can look back now. You have 4 minutes to see if you can negotiate a satisfactory output for a price of a ton of apples, or the price per ton of apples. Your time starts now.
Hello, Fred. I heard you're interested in buying some apples. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. I am. Tell me about your apples.
So basically, I sell 3 kinds of apples. I sell regular apples, premium apples, and also dried apples. So I was wondering, what kind of apples were you looking for?
I'm not sure really. I wonder if you give me some advice. I've not come across these dried apples before. I want to use them in dessert making. I want desserts to be really special. Would they be good?
The dried apples, yes, they're quite good for eating rather than being used to make drinks. Okay. So a lot of our customers use them just to sell them as a food, as a snack, or when they bake. So I definitely see that dried apples would be a good option for you, as well as the premium ones.
Cool. Yeah, I think you're right. Go on then, hit me with a price.
So the premium ones are 900 pounds per ton. And the dried apples are at 1,000 pounds per ton.
Ooh.
Yes. How does that sound to you?
Ooh, not good.
No.
No, not good at all. Not good at all.
Tell me, what is your range actually? Like, what were you thinking? How much were you thinking of spending on these apples?
Half that.
Half, so
yeah,
500.
Yeah.
How many tons actually do you need?
Okay, so you were quoting me for a ton, weren't you? So let's see if I can help you here. I mean, I think this stuff's going to be successful. So I could do 3 tons if you can get to the £500 price.
Sadly, I can 500 for me would be way too low. And currently, as I told you, I am selling them at 1,900, which is deemed a fair price. For 3 tons, the best I could do, first of all, which one would you be interested in, the premium or the dried apples?
I've got to be fair to you. So, I mean, okay, I'm asking you to drop a lot. So let's go premium. So you're only shifting less. You're shifting 400 down, aren't you? I'm going up in quantity to 3 tons. If you can do that, I would take 3 tons at a time and I'd give you scheduled orders for a year. How does that sound?
For 500.
500, but it's 3 tons a time and it's scheduled orders for a year.
Sadly, I cannot go below 600 actually. For me, this would make me work at a loss. So this could not work for me. below 600, I cannot go. So if you're willing to accept the deal you just made me for 600, then we would have a deal.
550, and I pick them up. You don't deliver them.
No.
Well done. Well done, the both of you. Wow, there's a lot going on there as well.
There's a lot going on in 4 minutes there.
There's a lot going on. The interesting thing is Channa as well, is that, you know, the last 4 weeks you've been practicing this with us. And, you know, I can see the difference between when we started in the very first session and the second session to where you are now. I mean, you're doing an awful lot of stuff with a lot more confidence as well.
Yes, I feel so as well. I feel more comfortable.
Now then, Channa, let's have from yourself, what did you feel or think about that negotiation? And is there any comments you might actually have in terms of maybe what Fred was doing that was of interest for you?
He was really trying to help me find a deal with him, which was nice. Like we were both trying to reach the same goal. So he was not using the closed questions. He was really trying to help me and himself find a deal. However, I think it was the budgets that did not, we couldn't work out the budget.
Okay, all right then. Fred, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Similar, yeah. Of course, I wanted a deal. That's why you negotiate. You know, why would we be having a conversation if we want to agree? If we don't, you've got to question why you're negotiating, really. So we did. So I will help. You know. See, I actually did something just to check what she'd do, and I said, "Tell me about," because then often salespeople get all excited and just talk. But you didn't. You gave a very little summary and then asked me a question. And Phil knows that I go on and on and on about this, but it was great because you wanted to find out what I was doing. I then gave you a chance to add value to the conversation. I asked for your advice, which you gave me, which is hard seeing as you're making stuff up. But, you know, that's good. I do want to work with you because you're giving me good advice. You know what you're talking about. I felt confident in you as a person. Yeah. So again, made me want to do the deal even more so. And then we tried to get to the deal, and I suspect we just can't. I don't think the numbers were going to let us.
What was your budget? Yes, let's see.
Oh, okay.
So there wasn't that zone of possible agreement. It was on the wrong side on this particular occasion. Which I think you were starting to get towards the end. The only thing is, Channa, is that you had a break even at 660, but you actually were negotiating at 600.
Yeah, true. I lost track of it. Like I just thought about the round number of 600 and I forgot the 60. But I still said no.
Yeah, but
good job.
Right, I mean, we had 573, so if it was like 603, you might have taken it. But...
I should have said yes, and we could have both lost, but we were happy. We were having good fun. Best business minds ever. Both made a loss on that deal.
We avoided that.
No, we should try it. Yeah, no, it was good, and I think you're right. You know what? The tone of the conversation, the interest in each other, that makes for a pleasant negotiation, even when things can't be found out. Sometimes I just think some people just think of a negotiation as a fight club. You know, they're going to go in and it's all about an argument, who can shout the loudest and what everything else. You know, it's a different style. I think, Fred, you've got, as you say, you've got a style which is, okay, help me, want some advice. You know, if you can work on that, then you're going to be more open to having a conversation. That doesn't mean that you give things away for free. It means it's a negotiation. And in many ways, you've got clarity, you've got an understanding you're both trying to find a solution, as opposed to just somebody just trying to get the best deal at your expense. So I think, Channa, you're right. It kind of felt that way all the way through. Yeah, it started off very quickly with a TED question. Tell me about your apples. Got 3 types. And then we had the Was it the regular, the premium, and then the dried? I mean, just for me, the mention of dried apples, that's a curious thing to put in there. And then that's, again, as you say, Fred, advice, and you picked up the dried. That's curious. Tell me more about the dried. You know, that was good. So we had that in there as well. We then actually had the prices pitched out. And so, Channa, the first price you put down was 900. Okay, now again, 900, well over your budget, Fred. And again, I'm looking out. I didn't see any reaction at that point. And Channa slowed down for a second, and then she put the next one down, which was the dried ones at £1,000, £1,000 a ton. And that's when you went, ooh. And it was amazing because as soon as you said that, Channa was like straight away, yes, you know, because she responded to it straight, yes, yeah. How does that sound to you? And you even followed it up with that question. How does that sound to you? And Fred was like, not good. Yeah. But it was interesting, Fred. For me, it was like there was no reaction to the 900. It was only to the 1,000. So again, I might have been misled, being me, thinking, all right, then 900 wasn't a big pushback, but certainly 1,000 was. Okay, well, maybe I need to be around the 900 mark. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what my thinking was there. I know dried would normally be more expensive. But I was just going to say, I wanted to see what they were, because then if they were right, okay, what was bin? There's no point in even reacting to 900. I can't go there. Fine, let's not worry about it and waste time. Let's concentrate on these dried, which are going to be around 7. Okay, we can get there. They're 1,000. Okay, well, can't do anything here. That's what I was just waiting for.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have necessary clarity on which ones we were looking at.
Yes, that's why I asked later on which one were you. I asked about that because I didn't know which one we were talking about.
And here's a question for you, Channa. You picked 900 and 1,000. So yes. You put the 900 out there. What were you thinking when you put 900 out there?
I thought that maybe, since I don't know his budget, maybe it would be within his budget. And if not, I could see from his reaction how far off my guess was. And when I saw his reaction, I realized that probably his budget is a lot lower. Yes.
Okay. And it was quite good, actually, because then, Channa, you said, you know, okay, well, you tell me, what are you looking for? And at this point, Fred, you said half that. And actually, Channa, this is where you said 500. So you're looking at 500, and Fred was like, yeah, 500, because 500 is acceptable to you, Fred. And again, I don't know, Fred, I guess you were waiting for the response from Channa, or the reaction. What was your thoughts at that moment, based on the reaction?
No, so 500 wasn't excess. So I said it needs to be half 500. So that's now we're talking 500, and I was actually going to have to be pretty close to that, really. Yeah. So she was going to have to make quite a big move. I couldn't do anything else.
And then for you, Channa, again, it was like, oh, so 500. Fred said yes, and you went, And then you asked the question, how many tons? And again, my advice, I mean, it's my advice, and I don't know whether it's worth anything at the moment after these last 2 negotiations, but my advice would be to push back on the number straight away, because it's unacceptable. 500 is not acceptable. And just say, look, that 500, that ain't going to work for us. I mean, you said it later on, you said it later on, but say it then and say, oh, look, what about quantities? Would you be buying more? Because then you could put it back to your original number, but reduce that number based on more volume. But you didn't push back on the 500. And actually, you then invited Fred to comment, and Fred was right. Okay, yeah. So I think I can help you here. You know, it's a successful business. You know, I can do the 3 tons if you can do the 500. Now, what's happened is you've ended up with an increase in the quantity, but he's kept you at the 500. There's no concession on the 500. Mm-hmm. So for me, I would, again, me personally, push back on the 500 and say, look, I'm trying to find a solution here. You know, if you were to purchase more, would you be able to purchase more? Yeah, we can do 3 tons. Could you get close to the 500? No, but what I can do with the 3 tons is I can go 2, and then you can put another number down.
Yes, yeah, because it ended up being a bit confusing.
Yeah. Because at that point you said, 500, sadly, that's just way too low. And again, the interesting words, way too low. Yeah, it's not a little bit low or a little bit out, it's way too, which again, it's just wording, that's terminology. And you threw in a fair word, the F word, 1,000, that's fair, a fair price. And then there's a bit more that went on. So I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, and then you obviously went to the 600, I can't go any lower than 600. And I was like thinking, you've either misread your numbers or you've done a Fred.
I would say that's a successful negotiation. So forget the mistake on the 600. Let's say that was the break even. That was what you're going to. You couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Deal not to be made. We did well not to make a deal because we'd have both walked away going, that was ridiculous. We'd have both been unhappy. So we did well by not making a deal. But as soon as you get a new crop that that I'm about that thing, you'll be on the phone. Fred, yeah, I want to speak to you first because you're okay to deal with. You were trying to help me because what I was doing was saying, I will go up, I'll give you scheduled orders, I wanted to do work with you. So hopefully you would come to me next. I will talk to you because you give me good advice. We've left it ready for the next round of negotiation rather than, I'm glad that's over. I'm not speaking to her ever again because I don't like the way she does stuff. Not going to happen. And there's plenty more Apple suppliers out there. So actually, it was a good result, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a satisfactory outcome. The satisfaction is the fact that you couldn't have made an agreement, so the right agreement was no agreement.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Channa, last words from you. Any final thoughts from you?
No, I just found it a very nice negotiation. More pleasant than the last one you had with Fred.
Yeah, well, we've got two big egos. I think we've got more to lose in a way. But at the same time, I kind of enjoy it. I love it. I love doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was able to go more natural style, whereas I was trying something else last time. So yeah.
All right then. Well, listen, here we are, everybody else, another negotiation, one with Channa and Fred. Obviously, Fred playing away here as the buyer instead of the seller. No deal, which was the right deal. Okay, so again, go back, have a look at the video, work out whether the things that we kind of missed or could have done better. Think about that yourselves and don't stop practicing, okay? We're all on a journey here. It never stops. There's no shortcuts for practice. So with that in mind, all the best. See you at the next episode. I've shown you how to wave. It's brilliant. Okay, all right, brilliant.